the fuck is up, everyone? Prism Meddler here. I am back with a re-rank series, and as you may know, as for the upcoming album, we are going to be ranking every Megadeth album. This is a part 2 video since right now Megadeth has 16 albums. Right now, soon to be 17. As I mentioned this before in my last video on my ranking every creator video, if the album is 16 or more, 2-part video. So, yep. Anyways, guys, for this video, we will review albums from Killing Is My Business and Business Is Good to Risk. In part 2, we will review from The World Needs a Hero to The Sick, the Dying, and the Dead. I am not interested in EPs, demos, live albums, compilations, or anything released by solos or side projects. Here's how my ranking works. This is not a worst to best, not a tier list. Here's how I do it. I go through albums in order for release in discography order and give each record a score out of 5, with 0 being the worst rating and 5 being the best. So, in preparations for their final album, we're going to go through all the Megadeth albums. So, anyways, guys, you know how it is. Let's go ahead and begin. Okay, guys, first up we got is Killing Is My Business and Business Is Good. Released May 17, 1985 off of Combat Records. Now, as you may know, back in 1983, Dave Mustaine got kicked out of Metallica. And if Metallica used any of the riffs that Dave wrote, he would take legal action. And after that, he formed Megadeth. And then 2 Metallica albums later, they made this album. It's a lot more aggressive. I would say it's easily one of Megadeth's heaviest albums. The lyrics are a lot more violent than it was. It's more like a raw version of Kill 'Em All. Dave sounded pissed off throughout this record. Now, the criticism is, just as usual, the production. But as later on, it kind of holds up very well. Starts off with this piano ballad from Last Rites, which is pretty much the intro to Love to Death. Yeah, just a really solid album. I think Mechanics was originally a Metallica song, which was rewritten from the Four Horsemen, I believe. And which just sounds a lot like that, but just a lot more aggressive tone. And we got These Boots, which is a cover track. I know they got in trouble for the parody lyrics, which the original artist got pissed off from, which they remastered. I think they removed it, and then it came back with the alter words bleeped out, which kind of gets annoying when you listen to it on a remastered version. In a 2018 remastered version, they used the original lyrics instead. So, as for my thoughts on this album, really great. I thought the bad production kind of fits the tone with this type of album. Dave has a lot of energy throughout this album. He's just letting that shit out. I know they were on drugs making this album, so I think I originally rate this a 3 to 5 on my original ranking, so I'm going to move it up to a 3.5 to 5. I thought this is a pretty good record. It's not one of Megadeth's best. I know a lot of metal elitists may put this as their favorite, but I don't know. I would say Killing Is My Business might be my least favorite debut of the Big Four. It's either that or Fistful of Metal, but yeah, I mean, I would say Killing Is My Business is easily one of the weaker debuts in a thrash scene. So, but it's a very good album nonetheless. I mean, it's not up there with albums like Kill 'Em All, Bonded by Blood, but it's a really solid kick-ass record. Alright, next up we got is Peace Sells But Who's Buying, released September 25th, 1986, off of Capitol Records. I don't know how to start with this one. I say this one has a little bit of a direction because, band is on drugs, with members had at the time, drug addiction, stuff like that. And, but overall, this album has a lot of memorable moments throughout. And the lyrical content is much different in each song. Like, Wake Up Dead is basically about a man who has been cheating on his wife by sneaking, and Dave felt that he was in love with another girl, but he has a girlfriend at the time who he's living with, and if he cheated on her, he thought she would try and kill him. That's what this song is. While Wake Up Dead is mostly an instrumental track for the most part. The Conjuring is mainly about a devil's advocate Peace Sells, which basically mostly on Megadeth's music on the subsequent releases, is about political and social beliefs. Good Morning Black Friday is basically about a serial killer who is going on a killing spree. And just very various throughout. I'd say this one is a lot more technical, a bit more technical than it was on Killing Is My Business. A lot more guitar solos, true, as tracks like Peace Sells, Good Morning Black Friday, Bad Omens, a pretty underrated track. Then we got a cover track, I Ain't Superstitious, who was from Willie Dixon. Yeah, all songs are standout. Love the crunchy riffs. It's just really solid throughout. So, yeah, guys, I'd say it's definitely a classic along with albums like Pleasure to Kill, Master of Puppets, Rain and Blood. But I definitely think it's this really solid album. I thought this was flat out amazing for the most part. So I'm going to give this a 4.5 out of 5. I would easily say it's one of their best albums for sure. Unfortunately, this is the last album with the original lineup, as Chris Poland and Gar Samuelson left the band shortly afterwards. But this album is straight up classic. I absolutely love it. One of my favorite thrash albums in the 80s. That's for fucking sure. I absolutely enjoyed it. So yeah, amazing fucking record. It's a classic. Alright, next up we got is So Far So Good So What, released January 1988, off of Capitol Records. Now, this album has a different lineup, with the only album with Jeff Young and Chuck Beller on this album. This is the only album with them on it. It's a really good album, most part. Not quite as good as Peace Sells, but it's a really good album throughout. While most of the lyrical content is about the nuclear Holocaust and freedom of speech, there are some other variety topics too, like songs like Liar, which is a diss track towards Chris Poland, and he called him out for stealing guitars by selling them for drugs. It starts off with a really great instrumental, Into the Lungs of Hell, which is a really great way to open the track, and Set the World Afire, which this is the first song that Dave wrote after he was removed from Metallica, but he didn't record it yet. And it has some great stuff on it. Then we got the Anarchy in the UK, which is a really solid track. For some reason, some people didn't like it. I thought it was a good cover. Mary Jane's a great one. 502, I would probably say 502 is probably my least favorite song from the album. I just find that song a bit filler. Now, In My Darkest Hour, I fucking love that song. I would say it's easily my top 3 favorite Megadeth songs of all time. That is such a dark song, In My Darkest Hour. I think Dave wrote that after he found out Cliff Burton got killed from a bus during their tour. And, yeah, but this song has nothing to do with Cliff Burton whatsoever. From what I'm reading, it's about... And now here's what I'm reading according to Dave Mustaine. I took it very personal because I figured you fuckers know we're all brothers in the band, and he dies and you have someone else call me, so I took it very, very, very bad. Yeah, this is how he feels about this song. So, even though the lyrics has nothing to do with Cliff Burton, this was his darkest time, and it's really sad too, because it's a very dark song. I would say this is Megadeth's Fade to Black. I mean, I just love the solos. Easily one of my favorite solos that Dave has ever performed. It's just a really dark, sad song, and I would easily say it's definitely the best song on the album. Hook and Mouth, another great track. So, I was originally going to give this a 4 to 5, but because of the song 502, I am going to give a 3.5 to 5, but it's a very enthusiastic one. Yeah, 3.5 to 5 is right. It's easily not one of Megadeth's album, but it's definitely a strong one. I mean, but hey, In My Darkest Hour is easily one of my favorite Megadeth songs of all time. I absolutely love that fucking song. So yeah, a really good album. Alrighty, next up we got is Rust in Peace, released September 24, 1990, off of Capitol Records. Alright, I don't know where to start with this album. I would say this is a lot more technical, if not their most technical album. It's got my favorite lineup on there, with Nick Menza and Marty Friedman, and again, how am I going to start this? I would say it's one of their. I say has the best lyrics, the best instrumentation, the best production, the best everything. In fact, this is Megadeth's best album by a long shot. This is not really debatable here at all. This album is just, when I think of a 100% album, or even over a 100% album, I think of this record. It's got the best lyrics, the best musicianship, best fucking everything from this album. The lyrical content, it has a lot of lyrical themes, focus on religion, politics, warfare, Dave's personal issues, such as his fight against drug and alcohol addiction, conspiracy theories, and even the Marvel comic superhero, the Punisher. The opening song, Holy Wars, The Punishment Due, is basically about the inspiration derived from the Northern Ireland conflict, in which the Catholic nationalists community were in conflict with protesting loyalist community over the sovereignty of the sixth country of Northern Ireland. It's just a lot of everything. Like tracks like Rust in Peace, Polaris addresses the topic of nuclear warfare. Hangar 18 is about conspiracy theories about the UFO. Just everything on this album is just fucking top notch. I would say Holy Wars, The Punishment Due is easily my favorite Megadeth song of all time, by far. Hangar 18 would be at 2. 3 would probably be in my darkest hour. Even it has some very underrated tracks that are even perfect too, like Five Magics, Take No Prisoner. I fucking love that song so fucking much. It's just every single song here is just perfect, 100%. I would say it's one of my favorite metal albums of all time. Maybe my favorite metal album of all time. This is easily my favorite thrash album of all time by a fucking long shot. It's just fucking crystal clear production. It's just perfect from top notch. Yeah, very, very, very strong 5 out of 5. This is perfect. It's a very, very strong 5 out of 5. I just love everything from this album. This is not debatable. This is easily their best album. No debate. I love everything from start to finish. Even the 2004 remake sounded good. I mean, I know a lot of people were very divisive about the 2004 remake. I've heard the 2004 remake, and it sounded good. But yeah, the original one is definitely better. But even the remix version sounded good, too. That's how amazing this fucking album is, by a long shot. So yeah, Rust in Peace it's perfect. Easily their best record they have ever made. Alright, next up we got is Countdown to Extinction, released July 14, 1992, off of Capitol Records. Now, this album is pretty much has a little bit of a change, was shifting towards a traditional heavy metal sound, even though there was some thrash on there. Just like their last album, focuses on political themes, with some exceptions, tracks like Sweat and Bullets, which shows a narrative of a schizophrenic person with Dave's battle of himself in a conversational sing-style voice throughout the verses. Symphony of Destruction, easily one of their most popular songs. I fucking love it. Really catchy riffs and a catchy chorus. Skin on My Teeth, great opening track. I love this song, Foreclosure of the Green. Foreclosure of a Dream. The hell? I just love the ballad guitar, acoustic guitar sounding to it. Yeah, I mean, this is a really, really strong album. Again, it's the same lineup from Rust in Peace. I would say it's easily probably my favorite mainstream album by them, for a long shot. Ashes in Your Mouth, I would easily say it's the thrashiest song on there, which is a closing track. It's a lot faster too. Almost at the same level as Rust in Peace, but not quite there. It's definitely, I kind of see it tries to have a more sound to the Black Album, as this album released a year after the Black Album, and because of that, Megadeth decided to go more mainstream album as well. So, I would say it's easily one of Dave's vocals throughout the album. But then again, there are some songs on there that are better than the others, but I wouldn't call it filler. I just think they're great songs. But yeah, there are some songs that are better than others. But hey, it's a great album. It doesn't really change my mind on that it ruins the album or anything. But yeah, I'm going to go for a strong enthusiastic 4 out of 5. I thought this was a great record. I would say it's my third favorite Megadeth album, behind Peace Sells, Who's Buying. Peace Sells, Who's Buying's at number 2. Countdown to Extintion's at number 3. Rust in Peace is at number 1. So 3, Countdown to Extinction. 2, Peace Sells. 1, Rust in Peace. I thought this is a great album throughout. Yeah, a strong enthusiastic 4 to 5 fits well. I thought this was a great record. Alrighty, next up we got is Euthanasia, released November 1st, 1994, off of Capitol Records once again. As you may know, with compared to Countdown to Extinction, they sold out big time, even though not as much as Metallica did with the Black Album. But it sold out pretty well. You know, they're almost as big, probably almost the same level as Pantera. Because of that, they decided to make a much more radio-sounding album. And they made this with new Euthanasia. Now, when it comes to me, I usually criticize when bands go more radio-friendly with this one. But this one, I say it's an exception. I mean, this album is pretty much strong, and I would say they do it right. I would say this is the best vocally performed by Dave Mustaine. It starts off with a banger with tracks like Reckoning Day. Train of Consequences is a fucking banger song. I love the power ballad track, Et tout le monde. I love how it was written. Dave really nailed it on the vocals. Addicted to Chaos. I mean, yeah, it's barely thrash. It's a lot more traditional heavy metal sound than it was on Countdown to Extinction. But overall, the songwriting is spot on. They kept it very consistent to their sound. Even from their thrash album, they even remained consistent. Even though they moved towards a traditional heavy metal sound. Like if Metallica would have sounded like that, would have probably kept it like they somewhat did on Load or Reload, it would be a lot better. They probably should have took notes what Megadeth did. I was pretty much blown away from Dave's vocals throughout the album. I originally didn't care for this album at first, but whenever I started learning more about music and stuff like that later on, I was pretty much impressed with this album, especially from Dave's vocal performances. I think, well, my original ranking, I don't remember, but I think I initially rated this like a 3.5 to 5 or so, but I am going to move this to a 4 to 5. Not that I know of. I don't think there's any fillers in this album. I thought this was really spot on. Yeah, I'm going to go for 4 to 5. I thought this is a really great record. But I wouldn't recommend it for new Megadeth fans. Like, if y'all are new to Megadeth, I would probably start with... Actually, I would start with Rust in Peace, to be honest with you. But if you're new to thrash, I would say start with Countdown to Extinction. I would probably start with that. Or if you're new to metal, I would say Countdown to Extinction I would start with. But Rust in Peace is easily the top-notch album. Even you're new to Megadeth, Rust in Peace will definitely kick you in the ass. But Euthanasia, I would not start with this record. But it's a really great record overall. I would say it's easily one of the most underrated ones. For those who didn't like this at first, needs to give it another listen. Like I did. I didn't like it at first, but now I really liked it a lot. So yeah, 4 to 5. Alright, next up we got is Cryptic Writings, released June 17, 1997, off of Capitol Records once again. I would say this album is just like Euthanasia. I would say Euthanasia Light. I mean, this one kind of experiment a little bit on like Euthanasia. I mean, it added a little bit more experimentation. I mean, it's got some really few killer songs on there that I really like. You know, like Trust. She Wolf's a great one. Triple F. But it's got some few interesting moments here and there. I do like the song Almost Honest. But there's a few softer songs I'm just not quite digging, with tracks like Use the Man and All Get Even. Especially All Get Even. And I feel like this song is just trying to be like the Tuttle Monde, but way dumbed down. It's like a dumbed down version of Tuttle Monde. But then again, it kind of has added some few thrashier songs, like the Disintegrators, if I pronounce it, Disintegrators. Triple F kind of has a thrash tone to it, but then again, it's like, 50-50 for the most part. There's no terrible songs in this album. Let's get this straight. And there's no bad ones either. It's just, the this, it's just, I wouldn't say it's like a poor, mediocre album, but I wouldn't say it's a great one either. I mean, it's a less heavier version of Euthanasia. I mean, yeah, there's some catchy moments here and there, but then again, it has some solid moments. I mean, the production's still good. The lyrics are still solid. Like, it's got some newer lyrics stuff on there that Dave hasn't wrote. You know, tracks like Have Cool Will Travel is basically about school shootings. Secret Place talks about losing touch with reality. I noticed on their remaster version they added something different, like on the track A Secret Place, which adds a sample to it. But for some reason on Use the Man, they added a sample from the Searcher song Needles and Pins. For some reason, I don't know why they removed it on the remaster version. I think it's because of copyright reasons. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you guys know why they removed it. I thought that was an interesting way to open up the song, but they cut it out on the 2004 remastered version. Yeah, I mean, it's enjoyable. Don't get me wrong. It does have some solid moments here and there. But then again, I'd say it's really toned down compared to Euthanasia and Countdown to Extinction. So I'm going to go for a 3 to 5. Not a enthusiastic one. It's just a 3 to 5. I thought it's a really decent record. Yeah, it's weak compared to Euthanasia, but it does have some catchy moments here and there. Yeah, it's not terrible. There's no terrible songs on there. There's no bad ones either. It just comes and goes, you know. But yeah, I mean, it's not a bad record. It's decent for the most part. Like, again, it has some great songs like Trust, Almost Honest, She Wolf, Triple F. Great songs, but, you know, it's a solid record. That's all. Alrighty, next up we got is Risk. Released August 31st, 1999. Off of Capitol Records, once again. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Now, look, guys. I've listened to this album multiple times recently, and I'll say this. This album is really not as bad as many people say it is. But I still don't think it's a good album. Now, it does, because this album is a huge drop of quality compared to the previous albums. But then again, not everything in this album is bad. Like, there is some few decent songs on here that I don't mind listening to. Like, The Prince of Darkness, I don't mind that song. Seven's not bad either. Breadline's not bad. But, again, there's a few bad ones too. Like, Crush 'Em, I don't like this song. I did not like the song The Doctor Is Calling. I thought that was such a boring-ass song. I did not like Wanderlust. I didn't care for that song. I didn't like the opening track either, Insomnia. I'm just not a fan of this weird industrial rock sound to it. And I didn't like the last two tracks, the Time songs. It's just bleh. But, yeah, as for production didn't sound too bad as well. Now, is this one of Megadeth's worst albums? Yes. But do I think this is Megadeth's worst album? No. But I will get to that in part 2, guys. I will reveal the worst Megadeth album in part 2. Don't worry. Yeah, from what I'm reading, I mean, the general of this album has more like its pop rock-ish sound to it. I mean, the album starts off with Insomnia. Like I said, it has an industrial song. Now, Prince of Darkness kind of sounds a bit similar to Megadeth, except I just don't like the weird, cringy noises in the background. Crush 'Em, again, it's just a really dumb song. Easily one of Megadeth's worst songs ever. It just has this weird industrial sound to it, which I don't like at all. It's just really odd. It's just basically a sport anthem song. Breadline, another song I don't mind, but it's not nearly my favorite. It just has this weird alternative rock sound to it. And then we got The Doctor Is Calling, which I did not like this song at all, especially with the little girl in the background. It's just really weird. I'll Be There, which I thought was okay. I mean, it's really slow, which I thought was an okay try. Wanderlust, which has this weird country-ish blues rock sound to it. So it sounds like you would hear from Metallica's Load or Reload. Then we got Ecstasy, which is not a fan. 7, I would say it's one of the better tracks on there, but and then the last 2 tracks I'm just not digging. Now, I'll say that, now, whenever I said the original versions are usually better than remastered. I would say the 2004 remastered version is better than the one on the original version because it didn't have the stupid techno industrial noise sounds on the track, Crush 'em, stuff like that. But I still don't think it's great. So I think I originally rated this a 1.5 to 5. I'm gonna move up to a 2 to 5 this time. I may not dislike it, or I may not. Well, I kind of do dislike this album, but I don't really hate this album, if you know what I mean. I still don't think it's a very good album, but I don't hate it as much as I did back then, but I still don't like it. It just doesn't sound like Megadeth at all. And, of course, it doesn't sound like Megadeth, because, like I said, it has the album title Risk. And according to Dave Mustaine, and this is what I'm reading, if anyone else's name was on Risk, it would have sold. He would say that because it has the word Megadeth on there. The word death is on there. If that wasn't said on there, then the album would have sold out. And I kind of agree with that. So, yeah, I mean, was this Megadeth's worst album at the time? Yeah, until that album came out years later, which I will reveal in part 2. So, yeah, I don't think Risk is as bad as many people say it is, but I think this album is just straight up mediocre. Alright, guys, we'll stop here. We reached the half of the discography, so we'll go for the second half on part 2. So, anyways, guys, subscribe for more content. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time.